And welcome back to the Texas Private School Podcast. I am your host, Walker Lott. I'm here at my alma mater, Southwest Christian here in Fort Worth, Southwest. Thank you all for having me, of course. It's a rainy day, so sadly you couldn't really had practice. Come watch some film, had a good time there. Let's go down around the corner. You can start us off, and then we'll go down this way. Just talk about who you are, what grade you're in, and what position you play.
My name is Tanner Zeman, class of 2023, and I am an outside linebacker and a running back.
Cool.
My name's John Taplett. I'm class of 2023, and I play left tackle.
My name's Hunter Sage, class of 2022, and I play D-line.
Tyson Flowers, class of 2022, safety and athlete.
Awesome. So I was one of the first comings with you with, this new program, the new culture that you have set in. When I was a senior, these guys were freshmen, Hunter and Tyson. For the first question to y'all can start, from your freshman year to your senior year, what's the biggest change you've seen so far in this program? Hunter, you can start us off. Just talk about the culture change here that you've seen, because, from how we started to how y'all are now, that it's just changed so much,
I say we're a lot less, I wouldn't say lazy, but we do everything a lot faster than I remember freshman year. Like, compared to offense and defense that we used to have, it wasn't always 100% when you could see freshman year in practice, but like how we see now, how we practice and play, it's like everything we're going full speed. Everything's 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyson, when we played, the offense that we ran is completely different than what you are now, because, even probably the defensive scheme is also different. Talk about that change, how that triple option that y'all run now, or, that wing T type offense really more. Talk about that change and how much y'all like it. And from my point of view, from how the team y'all have, it fits your team. And I think that's what's special about the offense you run. And for the guys you have, it's kind of unstoppable. With you and the running backs y'all have had in past years, it's effective. And the linemen you've had, talk about that offense that you'll run now, because like he said, it's much more fast-paced than it was previously.
Well, I think first and foremost, our offense now, it fits the guys that we're going to have year in and year out. And then it was a complete change of offense, but I think with the change of offense came a change of mentality. We're not running away to try to block, sweep, and reach guys. We're not chopping to try to fit up and block guys head up. We're firing off the ball and cutting people every single snap. And I think that kind of mentality that comes with that type of offense has really sparked a lot of the success that we had this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go to you now about this, because, you do play running back. This is an offense that kind of favors a running back, you know what I'm saying? So how excited are you to come in this year and actually be behind that line and running this offense?
I'm excited. I got a really good line ahead of me, and I know my blockers that are going to be coming up with the other running backs. And from where I came from, Brock, it's a pretty similar offense, but it's not a toss offense. It's a very predictable offense at Brock, but here it's not predictable. It's something different every single play, and you're running a different type of style offense.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, this offensive line, that's exciting, I bet.
Yeah.
From how we did it to now, it's fun for an offensive lineman, because that's all you do is just go at people, all that. How exciting is it to have that offense here?
Oh, it's very exciting. I feel like last year was my first year here, and that was the year we changed the offense. But I feel like with that year under our belts, we're all sort of buying in. We're on the defensive guys every play low. We're getting our assignments down, and we can only build on what we have so far. So I'm really excited for this upcoming year.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, you can talk us through this now. Why did you want to make that change? Because, it wasn't always the most effective when we ran it, but, it wasn't, it really wasn't the most effective when I was here and the year after us. What made you realize, this is the time we had to shift to, I guess, go for these guys, and, now it's the results y'all have.
Right. I think with, every group that you have, you got to do what's going to best fit the young men that you have on your team every year. But I finally got to the point to where we needed to be something different. We didn't want to run an offense that everybody else ran. Everybody has a tendency to want to run the spread and throw it around and do it that way. And I get that and understand that. But I wanted to bring just something different to the table. And that was just the main switch was just man, we just wanted to be tougher, and this is a tough offense. We felt that we always have guys that can run the ball. We knew we weren't going to have the big, huge linemen year in, year out. And so we went to this type of style of offense. So I think it's made us physical, not only on offense, but it's made us physical on defense as well, too. And I think it gives a lot of kids the opportunity to run the ball. And it's just a mentality that we have now. We feel like nobody can outlast us in the long run being in this offense because we're going to continue to grind, stay on your legs, and we might be 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but at any moment we can break it for a 70-yard touchdown run too. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Tyson, we're going to talk about last year for a bit. The year y'all had is something we haven't seen in a very long time here at Southwest Christian. Semifinal appearance, beating Fort Worth Christian, I believe district champs, right? We haven't had that since in the the 2000s. How was it? I was at what was it? I was at the Cormdale game and then the Fort Worth Christian game. Talk about just the season overall for you, man. The success y'all had. That team, that team was special for sure. Talk about that team. Talk about your guys and just the overall season in general.
This past season was probably the most fun I've ever had in a football season, and I hate the way it ended, but we're going to be back there for sure, and hopefully we'll have a different outcome. But I think it was just our competitive nature, like the competitive guys we had, like Darian Gibson, our corner, probably one of the competitive guys you'll ever play, and he hated giving up any points. We in our first 2 games we let up 7 points, and it was like you would have thought we let up 40, and so I think just our competitive nature and every single team we're going up against, we're trying to shut them out. No points, 0 points is acceptable, and I think that kind of mentality helped push for our long playoff run, and I don't know. I'm eager to get back at it.
Because I know you. You're competitive. You're a very, very competitive guy. You like that. That's who you are. How was it? Fort Worth Christian has always been a guy. For my 4 years, we never beat. Was that that game was like, all right, this is ours.
Yeah, it was time. Like when you're getting bullied, we're getting pushed around for the past 20 years by Fort Worth Christian, and it's got to stop at some point,
Absolutely.
Right? So I think a lot of our guys, and especially since middle school, I remember coming into middle school, and I think it was their 7th grade year. I wasn't there, and we lost all of our games. In 8th grade year, we did okay, like freshman year, and so it was just we were just tired of losing to the same teams over and over again. And so I think it wasn't really much of during the season. I think that was just the fruits of all the work we put in over the summer of just hey, we're tired of losing, and so I think that's what it kind of was.
As an alumni, I thank you for that. You have anything else to add on to that from the last season?
One thing I remember is the Dallas Christian game after we lost. It was in the locker room. Our offensive coordinator, Coach Edelman, he said it was good season, all that. He took a second. He said, "You will remember this," and I was like, "You will remember this for next year." It's get ready. After we finished last year, we were ready for this year already. Yep. We all knew it was gonna come up this year, and after that game, it was we weren't even happy, or we were happy over the season, but we weren't pleased yet.
Because I remember seeing y'all after the game, adapt y'all up, and I remember the first words out of your mouth was, "We'll be here next year," and that was I remember I was like, all right, I'm set. It's going to be a movie next year. And I was like, that's the tone I think we didn't have when I was here, being honest. That's the mindset y'all need to have to be this way. And I think just from a fan now, that's what I want in this program. And I really, really enjoyed knowing that. Looking at y'all, we're going to go now to y'all. For you, one of the questions I like to ask is if I haven't turned on your film, right? This is my first time watching it. How would you describe yourself as a player? If I turned on this film, how would you describe yourself? And you can start us off.
I'm an athlete. I can move. I can cut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to use my whole body. If you're gonna hit me, I'm gonna hit you right back. I'm gonna punch you in the mouth every single time. If you hit me harder, I'm gonna come back up the next play and I'm gonna punch you and punch you and punch you in the mouth until you fall. And I feel like I'm more capable of doing that on this kind of offense. And if you watch my offense from Brock, I've only got 6 games in because my leg snapped. But I'm gonna come back this year and it's gonna be a good year.
Awesome. Looking at I actually watched your film. So from a lineman perspective from back in the day, you're aggressive, you're mean. You like, the one thing I noticed is like, all right, you're trying to put him in the dirt every single play. Is that something you pride yourself in? And just talk about your game.
Definitely. Probably my favorite thing is running people over. That's something I look forward to every single week. And I just imagine those plays in my head when we call them, how I'm going to block the guy, and just how I'm going to finish it. And I definitely pride myself in staying low on the guys, driving them back, and not stopping until the whistle blows.
Yeah, that's what you want in a lineman. I know Coach Flowers loves to have that guy on his team. All right, Sage, when I first saw you, you have changed dramatically from your freshman year now to now. What do you think? I mean, it's just, you put the work in. I mean, plain and simple. You know, you look bigger, you're stronger. I know that for sure. How much work did you have to put in to change yourself from freshman year to now? And I mean,
He used to think he was the icy receiver. That's
right. I remember that. Yeah. Now being that linebacker for this defense, how excited are you, like, going into your senior year, being this leader on this team, and how, just talk about that.
It was fun for freshman year and 8th grade year. It was really good for us to stick to the same defense that we've always had. So with Tyson too, like, we know this defense. A lot of us know it from the back of our hand. So, like, working in the off season, like, you really know what you need to work on to attach to this defense. Like, if you know your safety, you really know you need speed to adapt. And it was just fun to know what I need to do to get better, to just better the whole defense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Going on to this, one of the questions I love to ask as well is, looking at someone, the reason we do this is to highlight guys who get unnoticed, get not mentioned, stuff like that. So, we can start with you, and you can go down, then Coach Flowers, add whoever they don't want. Who's a guy on this team maybe last year or, upcoming this year that you're excited for? And then, let's do this. Who's a guy on the team last year that, was a very important part of your team that didn't really get the recognition or the praise from last year? Who was that guy on this team that, in your mind, is a guy like that?
Well, I think probably Carson Tadadovich. I think he had to run the ball on offense. He played one of our most important running back positions on offense.
Yep.
And had to turn around and make all of our calls at middle linebacker on defense. And so I think he went a little unnoticed. He's graduated now, but if I had to pick somebody from last year that played, it would probably be him.
Yeah, I knew Tater was going to be that dude, man. When we first came in, I was like, I'm excited, because when he played JV and he was balling, we were like, all right, this is going to be something special. And I remember I was so happy when that fourth Christian game, and that was awesome. To you, who's a guy from last year that,
A guy from last year, I got to go to the other end, Drew Vidaris. I mean, you look at him on film, he doesn't look that good, but in practice, he's so quick for his size, and you could see that a lot. He was the first to the quarterback almost every time, and with our nose, Milton Granger, you think he looks sloppy, but he looks, and he's mean. They're both really good. I think they're both really overlooked almost every time, and we see that in the games, how they're overlooked in film.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to you, man. I'm not going to ask you because you weren't here, but going to you, who was a guy from last year that was not talked about that you thought was an important part of your team?
I would probably say Seabass. He played right next to me on the O-line. He didn't get to start, but he was always there in practice, always showed up, always worked his hardest. And often when his time would come, he would kind of get passed over and they'd find someone else to put in there. But I just thought that he was a super good player. He has a super bright future this year. He's already flying around in spring ball. He looks really solid, and he plays both sides of the ball. I think he's super good addition to the team.
Awesome. Yeah, Coach, who's the guy last year, for you that, kind of was not that guy who really didn't get talked about for you?
A few of these guys mentioned some of the players, but you know how it is. It's a team sport, man.
Yep.
We truly believe that everybody on this team has a purpose on this team, and their role is very important. So we always try to instill that in all our kids, no matter what position you play. Or if you don't even play that much. But for me, who really stood out, who probably didn't get a lot of recognition, is Milton Granger.
Mm-hmm.
He plays our nose position, and you have to be super solid. And most of the time, that guy is taking on a double team, and he did just an amazing job. Drew Verdur's, like Hunter said too, he's probably been a bell cow for our defensive line for a long time. He's been playing since a freshman.
Yep.
Down there. I also think Sebastian Hewitt was really big for us last year in our regional game against Fort Worth Christian. Did a great job of coming in and us not missing a beat. And then I would also have to say Graham Holster. He had to play both ways for us at times, and another speed guy for us. And he played running back and safety. And I would probably say Caleb Collum too. You know, he had to come in a lot for us on the offensive line when people got injured, and so there's a lot of people in there that we can throw in. But those are the guys who pop up right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there you can do this question because I guess you have experience during spring ball, but who's a guy you're excited for to play with next year?
I'm excited to play with Tyson.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he can do.
Talk about, from an outside guy looking in, how would you describe him? How excited are you for that?
Well, I met him because I figured out he was Coach Flower's son, and he's a very humble kid, and I'm ready to see what he can do behind handing me the ball off, throwing the ball to me, what he can do on defense, because I know he's a very talented kid, and he can get the job done anytime, any situation.
Yeah,
he's going to be able to get it done.
Absolutely. Is there a guy on you're excited for next year to kind of step up to the challenge? I mean, you pretty much said Sebastian, but besides that, do you have anyone else?
I think Blaine's gonna have a really big year. He was a really secret sort of weapon on returns. He sparked a couple big ones, but this year I think he's gonna get an increased role at corner. He's real fast. I think he'll be really good there, and then maybe he'll get some touches in the backfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to you.
I think he really sparked last year, but Aiden Slabacorn at center, I mean, he was robbed at a first-team district all day. You can't change my mind. But he was probably not the biggest center, not the tallest center in our district, but he put more bodies on the ground than any other person in our district or who we played.
Yeah. I remember when he's a freshman, he just worked. That's all he did. You know, like you said, he wasn't the biggest, but I mean.
He was our best all-around lineman last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the center of what we do. He's big time.
Yeah, he just works, man, and that's something I knew from day one when I met him. But what about you? Someone you're excited to see step up?
I'd definitely say Blaine. When you talk about an athlete who can do it all, that's definitely Blaine. He can play running back for us. He could probably play our X receiver. He's gonna lock it down on corner too. And I just remember my sophomore year, I was watching him on JV. I knew then that he'd be a big time player for us because he would take a punt to the house, come back, get an interception, then they hit him the ball off, and he'd have a 20-yard run, then catch a slant the next play, and he would just do it all. And he kind of like inspired me a little bit. I was like, dang, this dude's killing it on every facet of the game, and so that's what I kind of looked at. And if I had to pick another one, it would probably be Blaine or Hayden. Hayden's he's another athlete wherever he played. He's our punter and kicker, but he threw a touchdown in our regional game.
I remember that. That was crazy.
Exactly. And so he makes plays when they need to be made, and so I think it'll be exciting to watch him play this year too.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, you have a guy or two that you're excited to step up?
Yeah, I'm on a Blakely train, man. That kid's gonna be special. He's had such an amazing off season. Like, he's worked so hard. I mean, the kid just hang clean 225 today, and
wow.
He's right there at 225 on bench too, and he's one of our fastest kids, and so I'm really excited to see him play. I'm excited to see Hope Percyfield, man, play. He's gonna be in one of our other corners, man, and he's good, man. I'm real excited about what he can do, and I'm real jacked up and pumped up about Tanner Zeman. I think he's gonna introduce himself to everybody in the state real fast next year, so I'm real excited about him as well.
Awesome. All right, we're going to do some fun questions, all right? So it's kind of like superlatives, okay? So this is kind of where you can talk about your team having a good time. First question is, who's that guy, like, when it's supposed to be serious and all of that? Like, it's everyone, coach kind of yelling at you, but who can't be that guy who's, like, always laughing on this team? He can never take himself seriously.
I think we're on the same.
Yeah.
Milton.
Milton Granger.
I remember that from freshman year, too. Talk about who's the opposite kid. Who's the guy who, like, everyone's joking around and have a good time, and that guy who's, like, never smiles on this team? Who's always serious? Tyson? Come Come on, man. You gotta be able. You gotta bright up. I mean, that's just how he is, though, isn't it?
I smile every once in a while.
You smile after the win, right?
After the win. That's
Yeah.
what it is. When we get the ring, I'll smile.
That's that motivation. Who's that gym rat? Who's like when you hit him up, you're like, hey, what you doing? Oh, I'm in the gym. Who's that guy on this team that is always in the gym working out?
Court.
Yeah.
Court Comer.
He's always
Court
in
Comer?
there. He's always-
Yeah.
I think I've only seen him in sleeveless shirts.
Yeah, he's been getting after it. I'll say Court Comer. I think Jackson Taylor is kind of getting to the point to where he's really trying to compete and get out there. So he's been getting after it.
Absolutely.
He's always working out.
Yeah. Who's the guy and when you're working out doing workouts? Who's that guy who always just yells and is very energetic in the locker room?
Court.
You can't go a day without him screaming.
Court
Yes.
Graham.
Graham.
Always screaming, especially at practice.
Who's like the is there a guy in this room that you think is like an underrated leader on this team that is not in this room? Sorry, like that kind of leads by example, but just like that kind of a role.
I don't think he's underrated because he's an all-state kid. But Mark Simon,
Yeah,
for us, he's a leader by his actions most of the time. He just plays hard. You know what you're gonna get out of Mark Simon. He's a big kid. He can run. He can hit. He's a playmaker. Like and sometimes he flies underneath the radar because he's kind of a quiet kid too.
Yeah.
So
I remember seeing him during that Cormdale game, and I was like, okay, this guy, he's something special. And when I took his photo after the game, he was like, he didn't, he was kind of shocked, but like, I was like, all right, because I remember Coach Harrison telling me, he's like, this kid's gonna be legit. So that's awesome. What time was it? Let's do another question. Tyson, this has been something crazy, seeing you and all the things, all the success you've gotten for the past couple of months. I mean, I always knew because you had that work ethic from a freshman year. I knew it was something you just had. And I was like, I remember always talking to Ethan. I'm like, this kid, this has it. Looking at all the offers you got, and we can, you could say, just from the athletic ability, you could have got him. But it's something that, the offers come in with hard work and dedication and commitment. How much, there's so much more, that you have another year ahead of you and all of that. But talk about the hard work and dedication you've put in to put yourself in that position.
It's a lot, and I think hard work does pay off, and you have to work for your offers and for your recognition. I do think you have to work for it, but you can work all you want in the dark. You can lift all the weight you want, do all the position training you want, but if it doesn't translate to the field, to the film, then it's not going to matter that much. All that matters is what happens on Friday night when the clock's running. That's all they take score of. And so if you can just unleash whatever you can on there, you can not lift it all, not train at all, but when the lights come on, if you're ready to play, then you'll be good to go. So I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just talk about, you in that, like you said, when the lights turn on, that's when you go. Talk about like just in that zone. What's your mindset when you go to play?
Number one mindset is I'm just playing to win. That's the end goal, and whatever that entails, that doesn't mean I need to do it all. If I need to turn around and give to Tanner 40-yard run, then if that's what's going to help us win, then boom, that's all I need to do. I don't think I scored a touchdown till like 3 or 4 games into the season, but we were 3-0, 4-0 at the time, so it was good with me. But I think just
as a running back, that must be exciting. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about you for a second. Then as a guy coming in, what is one thing you've noticed about the culture here at Southwest Christian that coming here, I bet it's totally different, of course, than Brock. So what is something that you've learned about, not even just the football team, but the school and like culture here at Southwest Christian?
Everybody's a family. Everybody's bought in, I haven't heard one word out of Tyson's mouth say, I have this many offers. When I was at Brock, there was a few guys that had offers, and that's what they talk about. Like, they were there for themselves. They weren't there for the team. They weren't there to win. They cared about when they were going to the next level. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, how excited are you to go into your next year? I mean, what is that, junior year? So how excited are you for your junior year coming here and just going to be able to play in this offense that favors that running back position?
I'm excited. I'm excited to show my talent off and show everybody what's been under the rug for a while, and really be able to just come out and play my hardest when it's time to go.
Just talk about how much work and effort have you put in so far to get yourself ready for this junior year?
I put a lot of work in. Every day in, day out, I'm thinking about it. It's on my mind. That ring on my finger is on my mind every single day. I'm thinking about how much work I need to put in for my team, because the more work I'm going to put in, the more success we're going to get. Yeah. And I feel like everybody's going to feed off everybody's work ethic. And as soon as everybody starts feeding off of everyone, everybody's going to buy in, and it's going to be a special season.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, you can start us off, and then y'all can add on. What's the mindset going into next year? I mean, like you said, I know his mindset. I don't even have to ask him. Is that the mindset for this team? That's no matter what, that's the goal?
Yeah, our mindset is this: we go off a code. We go off a code, and our code is code blue, and that's what our motto is going into everything now. And the numbers in that code for us are 1, 4, 11, 60, and 800, and we live off that code. We believe in that code, and we believe in our goals, which is to be the king of Brian Irvin, every year, and that's beating TVS and Country Day. And we put Oak Ridge in the mix too, even though they're not on Brian Irving. But we that's always a goal, and that's always good, tough games. And our second goal is to win district, which our district is one of the toughest in the state. But That's going to be a goal, and now we've been able to really transform our team to our goal is to win state next year too. So that's our goals going into it. So
yeah, absolutely. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just going into every game, having the mindset to win it. Like, no matter what game it is, know how far we into the season. I mean, playoffs didn't even feel like it's playoffs. It just felt like we're having another game next week that we got to go on to win, go on to beat the team.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me out. It's great to see y'all. Of course, I'll come out and watch a couple games. This is how it is. I'm as a fan and a guy who's played here, I don't think there's never been a more exciting time for this program. I mean, since 2009. I mean, seeing the guys who are here, I'm so excited that you guys are going to lead this team. The guys who are here, it's a very happy time, exciting time here at Southwest Christian. So yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. Wish y'all the best for the future and rest of the spring ball. So yeah, guys, thank y'all, man.
I appreciate it. We got to give you a lot of credit too, Walker, because when we first came here, man, we made big strides from where y'all were at before to when we first got here, my first year here there. And so it all started off with the foundation that y'all created. I mean, we haven't been to the playoffs in this division since it was 15 years, and we made it to the playoffs with your group. The first two years in a row, we made it to the playoffs with your group. So that started the foundation. It just, hey, let's get to the playoffs. And I think it's grown since then, but it started off with that mentality. So thank you, man.
Yeah, I have a question from Ethan Flowers, or Ethan, basically.
Yeah.
Ethan Thomas asked me last night to ask you, who's the best quarterback you've ever had here at Southwest Christian?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with E. I'm still going with E. He's
all right,
special.
Shout out to him, man. All right. Thank y'all, guys.